Wednesday, of course, is often informally called Hump Day, but today that nickname actually has meaning for meteorologists. It's Hump Day for hurricane season in the Atlantic because September 10th is, by some measures, the climatological peak of the Atlantic hurricane season. Now here's a classic chart from the Hurricane Center that shows how tropical cyclones are distributed by date in the Atlantic from May on the left to December over on the right. The yellow graph is hurricanes, the red is hurricanes plus tropical storms, and both peak right around September the 10th, making today, on average, the day when it's most likely for there to be a tropical cyclone in the Atlantic. Not so this year, but some of the memorable hurricanes that have been active on September 10th include Isabel in 2003, Ivan in 2004, and Ike in 2008. Those all begin with I, meaning they were the 9th storm those years. We're only at D this year, which suggests a slow season so far. Indeed, here are the numbers for the Atlantic. In an average year, 11 named storms would form, that is, tropical storms, and 6 would become hurricanes. At the midway point of this season, those numbers are 4 and 3, respectively. So total storms are behind, but hurricane numbers are average. This year's hurricanes haven't been that newsworthy, though. Arthur brushed the Outer Banks on the 4th of July, while Cristobal generated large waves along the East Coast in late August. Now, the biggest tropical news has been in the eastern Pacific Ocean, which tends to be more active on average than the Atlantic. The climatological averages there are 15 named storms, with 9 becoming hurricanes, 4 of those major hurricanes, Category 3 or higher. This year so far, 14 named storms, 10 hurricanes, 7 of them major. So the eastern Pacific has been a hurricane-producing machine. The majority of storms there form in a relatively small patch of ocean to the west of Central America. In fact, this region produces the most tropical cyclones per unit area of anywhere on Earth. So what's up this year? Well, ocean temperatures have certainly played a big role. Here's sea surface temperature anomalies over the last 2 months. Orange and red mean 3 to 6 degrees above average, and there's plenty of that in the main formation region in the eastern Pacific, partly related to a budding El Nino in the tropical Pacific. In contrast, the Atlantic formation regions, by and large, have had near average water temperatures. Also, to some extent, all that rising air associated with those hurricanes in the eastern Pacific energizes high-altitude winds, which eventually flow out over the Atlantic, and fast flow aloft is poison to fledgling tropical systems. And finally, a lot of dry and dusty air continues to blow out over the Atlantic from the Sahara Desert, similar to last year, which also contributes to an unfriendly environment for tropical development. Truth is, sometimes the tropics can turn on a dime. Paul Knight is up next with his take on potential tropical activity in the extended forecast.